Yo, what's up? Good night. It is Friday, October 10th at 8:19 p.m. And I have news. I did not work out today. So guess what that means? We will have a workout update. All right, 25 push-ups, 25 squats. Oh, some claps for good measure. So, today was pretty great, I have to say. It was productive early on, and then very inspiring. I got to hang out with a bunch of young founders here in SF, and the energy when you're in the right group is just pretty amazing. I got to tour the HQ of a company called Sperm Racing. And that was pretty remarkable. If you don't understand what they do by their name, you can look it up. But yeah. I don't know, I'm not a very good tech bro. At least I don't have a good one-liner for what I do. It's just I don't know, I kind of help this company with growth and, marketing. And I am pretty interested in robotics, but I don't have that elevator pitch for myself. And I don't really like that. I don't like the concept of that. But I guess it's more of an option on my part to have more peer relationships and just to be more chill, not be so stressed out and neurotic all the time. Alrighty, what's next? 25 push-ups, 25 squats. You just gotta fucking do it sometimes. It's easy to suffer when you're in your own mind, looping over things, questioning whether or not you did something wrong, or, making predictions about the future, making judgments about the past, making judgments about yourself as a collective, it's a collective generalization to make judgments about yourself. You as a self are not something that can be judged in its totality as easily as you might think, because you are different moment to moment, and really the only valuable metric that you can use is, am I acting virtuous in this moment? Am I behaving in a way that I want to behave in this moment? And that's the question that you should be asking more often, and less often should you be ruminating about whether or not you were virtuous in the past, or what your past implies about your future, because that is faulty reasoning. All right, next set. My legs are very sore, but it only really affects you for the first 2 sets. Then you're nice and warmed up. I'm not gonna be able to fall asleep. Holy shit. I had 3 cappuccinos today. 2 at 11 and then 12:30, and 1 at 3:30. So I'm pretty wired. Yeah, man. If there's one thing I can say about today, about what I learned, it's just that, the world isn't going to do you any favors. And the best antidote to I'm just riffing right now, so mind me if it's not very clear, but I think the best antidote to a lot of anxiety is simply to be unapologetically yourself. A feeling of anxiety ultimately boils down to a desire for control. And ideally, if you can put yourself in a state where you don't need anything to go any particular way, if you don't need anything from anybody, if you feel comfortable with any outcome, if you step up on stage and you're comfortable with the idea that you could be laughed off stage, that is the state of no anxiety. It becomes irrelevant what happens to you, because you are more or less just an observer of what ends up happening. And it's just like you're watching a movie from a third point of view. So long story short, a lot of anxiety is born in your desire to impress people, your desire to climb the social hierarchy, and your desire to be seen a certain way. I want in my life to not have to worry about being seen a certain way. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you either accept me for who I am or you don't. If you accept me, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. I'm not gonna, reward myself for being amazing or punish myself for being horrible. Either way, I'm simply me. I'm doing what I want to be doing. And, if that aligns with what you want to be doing, great, maybe we can work together and do something cool. But if it doesn't, that's not a big deal at all. And developing that mindset is difficult. But you just have to start early. Being authentic is not profitable in the short term. But in the long term, it will attract the type of people that you actually want to be associated with, because you're not playing a character. You're not being someone who you are not. You are being exactly who you are, and therefore you are signaling to the world in such a way that the people that are attracted to you for you gravitate towards you. Yeah, I'm here to learn, man. I have so much to learn. I want to get into startups. I have so much to learn. I know nothing. If you ask me something specific, maybe I can give you an opinion. But if you ask me something general, like, oh, what do you do? What are you good at? I don't really care for those types of questions, Because to be honest, I might just say, I don't know what I'm good at. I'm still learning. I'm still figuring out what I want to do. I'm still figuring out what I want to be good at, what I want to practice, who I want to be with, the types of things that I want to do. I'm 18 years old. It's a hard one. Alrighty, one more. Let's go. Alright, I have to go to bed now. But, lesson learned. Be authentically yourself. You've heard this a million times. But you have to build the habit if you want to be satisfied. And all of the greatest wisdom is somehow paradoxical. Because even the idea that you need to do something in order to be satisfied is wrong. It is the seeking satisfaction that actually adds to your dissatisfaction. And so it's impossible for me to give you exact advice. I can't tell you how to do it. I might be able to give you hints as to what not to do. But stop giving a fuck. Start early. Keep practicing. It'll pay off in the long run. Okay. Good night, y'all.